Jagadev, welcome again. So, today is a very cold day here in Sripitendilaya, and as the weekend is approaching, there will be Mahalakshmi Yagna, so everybody is quite busy here, and of course you all will be participating also online. And I was reflecting about something. I was thinking from next week on, because there's many registration for the Thursday darshan, so we will have two darshan from next week on, one before the japam and one after, like that. So then it will be for people, it will be easier for people to register also. And so now we go on the question itself. So,
Dear Guruji, they say there is a life script for everyone, that everyone has their destiny or fate. Is that true? Or can we change it? And if so, to what extent can we change it?
yes, you see, there is a life script, because you see, you're bound by the karma, firstly, you're bound by the gunas. So you incarnate here with a specific purpose. But everything can change once you take shelter to the Lord, you know. So it's not that life carries on the same way. So even when your Atma incarnate here, your Atma have only one aim in life, actually, is to attain back to the lotus feet of the Lord, to be back into that communion with Him, to get to know Him, to recognize Him. Like Bhagavan Krishna said to Arjun while showing his cosmic form, chapter 11, verse 54, he said that only by single-minded devotion one will get to know me and see me in the form that you are seeing right now, and enter into union with me. So you see here itself that when one attains to that single-minded devotion, when one takes shelter to the lotus feet of Bhagavan, life itself changes, karma itself changes itself. So what your agenda, by being bound by the three gunas and being bound by the law of karma itself, get transformed. So you are no longer into the domain of Maya. That's what they said also. Those devotees who surrender to me, Maya doesn't have any effect upon them. That doesn't mean that, yes, you are free from the clutches of Maya. Maya will always test you, how strong you are, you know, how focused you are, how sincere you are on your spiritual path. But it will not have the same effect as what it have to, because the whole effect of one surrendering to the lotus feet of the Lord is to attain Him. So when you take shelter to Him, He is the one which controlled Maya. So if He is the one which controlled Maya, so He will loosen the grips of Maya. He will even remove the whole effect of Maya itself. In chapter 18, verse 66, which we take initiation, said that those who surrender, you know, to me, I take charge of them, I look after them, I cleanse them of all sins. So if Bhagavan Himself gave that assurance that those who surrender to me, I cleanse them of all sins, of course, your karma can be changed. And also the agenda, the dharma also of being here itself can be changed. Because the true dharma, the true nature of the Atma itself is to attain the feet of the Lord. But as you know very well, there is different aim in people's life. I say, due to your aim, what you have set your goal upon, that will become your reality of things. So if through the right understanding of what is life really, if we analyze life, itself, Bhagavan in chapter 7 verse 16, he said there is 4 virtuous kind of people who worship me. And of course, this 4 virtuous kind of people, they said there is the dissatisfied one, those who go, they have everything, but yet they are never satisfied with life itself, because they know that this life doesn't make them happy. Even if they have everything, they are not content with their life itself. They know that there is something greater to be attained, and it is the Lord Himself, the Lord who can satisfy them really. And they worship Bhagavan to have this satisfaction. Then you have the seeker of knowledge. Here Bhagavan said, the seeker of knowledge, they search for Him. Now, through the Holy Scriptures, through whatever they do. Knowledge doesn't mean only by reading books, no. So they seek for Him in whatever they do. They have that knowledge that, yes, God is in everything, but I have to search for Him. I'm not satisfied. So you see, here also you see in yourself that whatever you do in life, you are in a state of searching for the Lord. You pray to the Lord, please reveal to me in whatever I'm doing. Then he said that there is the 3rd kind, which is the seeker of wealth. So here you have a different kind of people, which is fully absorbed in knowing what they want. They want only wealth. They pray to God, so give me this wealth, give me that wealth, give me this and give me that, until they really understand that the true wealth is to ask God for Himself. And then you have the 4th kind, which is the wise one. The wise one, they are clear. This is a state of a true devotee, which they pray to God. They don't bargain with God. They don't ask God for, give me this, then I will offer you that. They have a knowledge that God is in everything. Everything is already His. What they ask Him is, let me have long, loving devotion to you. And I am grateful, firstly, to make myself. You have made me your devotee. I have surrendered to you. I don't want anything else. I want only you. And seeing that, you see, this 4 kind of virtuous people. Here you see Bhagavan talking about, he didn't say that none of them is wrong. No, he said they all worship me according to their level. So you see, here Bhagavan is also reminded that all are governed by one energy, which is within each person, which is the Atma itself. Without the presence of the Atma, we can't do anything. So our dharma, coming to your question, if everything can be changed, yes, everything can be changed when you realize yourself that what is your true dharma here. The moment you take shelter to the lotus feet of Guru and God, then your dharma is to move forward into that relationship with Bhagavan, so that you can have a vision of Him. When we analyze in the Gita chapter 11 verse 54, which Bhagavan have said to Arjun, it's only through single-minded devotion. So what changed everything in your life is that single-minded devotion. You see, when you look at your life itself, very often when you were young, or maybe the question comes from a young person itself, but I don't know, but so let's say you have a certain idea of what life will be for you. Yeah? You have a certain dream, a certain aim that you want to achieve in life. Because you see, being in the society itself, society make you think in a certain way. For small itself, you have been taught, yes, you know, you must work very hard. You must earn a living. You have to become somebody. You have to have a name. You have to have fame. You have to have enough money to enjoy. You know, this is how the society have trained you to become, and this is what you have set your aim upon. Did you ever know that your life will change drastically, pow, like that? That your life will be, okay, go on a different direction towards spirituality? No, you never expected that. But spirituality catch up with you because of what you have deep inside of you. When Bhagwan remember you, that now it's time to awake what is dormant inside of you, he come as a reminder to you. And then he bring you unto that understanding that you are firstly a living being. You're not just a robot which is you have been programmed and then you're moving towards that. No, you're not. You are a living entity itself. That what is making you alive is that Atma within you. Without just, otherwise you will be like a robot which is just focusing only on the outside carcass, which is the metal and so on. You know, it's like an engine of a train, for example. You know, we took the engine of a train is made up of iron completely. You know? It's a block of iron. But how you think that this engine, which is a block of iron, is pulling a lot of wagon behind him? You know, so there's maybe 100 wagon being pulled by this engine itself. So there must be another energy inside that engine which is fueling itself and powering itself to move, to be able to have energy to pull all these wagons. And that is the Atma itself, that realization. When you have inside of you, your life itself change, because that view that, okay, my aim was to attain these things in the world, but yet there is something more important. Nowadays you see everybody is so worried about their health, yeah, because they know that corona can kill anybody at any time. I think they think they had great plan of life, when it takes just a flu to kill you. So simple like that. You know, so where is your plan? So you see that dharma can change also. So taking shelter at the lotus feet of God, that transform, it gives you a different understanding of life in itself. The moment you get a different understanding of life, your whole dharma change. Then you are moving towards the real dharma of why you have come here for. So, what is the most important thing is that Atma inside of you. Like the engine, of course it is there, it is important. Like the body, it is important. But the Atma inside of that body, that fuel inside of the engine, that what gives that strength and power to the train and this body. The Atma gives that energy so that you can fulfill your true dharma. And really, by talking about true dharma, meaning try to attain a vision of the Lord, like Krishna himself said. Only by having single-pointed mind and devotion that is possible. It is by having a single-pointed mind and devotion that you can come into communion with me. You know, Bhagavad chapter 2, Canto 2, chapter 2, verse 35, you know, it said, you know, the Supreme Lord is seated in everything in the form of the Atma. The seers, the yogis, they perceive that. Yeah, they can have a glimpse of that. Here again, Bhagwan have to remind Arjun also, become a yogi, become that pure devotee that perceived the Supreme Lord in all his creation. So when you see that here Bhagavan remind continuously, do you think he can click his finger and make one realize? No, but he is calling everyone to awake. Because as long as you are stayed in this dormant situation, in dormant state itself, that awakening will never happen. So that's why your plan that you had before get transformed now into the divine plan of what is anchored inside of you through the grace of Guru and God. He bring you to that understanding that you are beyond even this drama which you have created in your life. You are beyond this dream that you think about. Here, that's why in the verse before, Krishna said, there's 4 virtues. That 4 virtues, it is inside of each one actually. It's a journey, because you think that the world is important, you can't live, you can't, you become dependent upon onto the world itself. Like you have so many people who are so dependent on other people that, oh, you are the love of my life, I can't live without you. But yet, you forget, before this person come into your life, you were living already. That means that even if the person is there or not there, you will still live. But can you live without the Atma? No, you can't. So that's why Bhagavan said, all these people who worship me, they have their aim, but they know that I am the only one which can fulfill that aim. They can count upon their strength, but how long would that be? Just like Draupadi, So Draupadi, when she was dragged into the court, she hold upon her sari, but she was dissatisfied. She was holding upon her own strength. But only when she let go of her own, saying that, okay, my strength is limited. But that, what is inside, is unlimited. So being in communion with that, being into a relationship with that strength inside of you firstly, Bhagavan become visible. This is what that inner strength which he gives you to move forward in your life. This is through spirituality. This is through devotion itself. This is bhakti in itself. Without bhakti, that is not possible. So.
Dear Guruji, why did most of the main avatars of God incarnate only in India? Even the gurus and enlightened masters tend to come from India or from Asia. Why doesn't God or any true guru incarnate in, for example, Sweden or other parts of the world?
You see, India is well, I'm not born in India, I'm born in Mauritius, a bit further down. It is in the Indian Ocean itself, so it is India. So, you see, India, the Hindu culture hold everything in itself. For example, each culture is beautiful, each religion is beautiful in themselves, but they hold only a limited truth. That's why you see people become very dogmatic, become fanatic, and so on, because their truth is bound by limitation, by dogmatism, by narrow-minded. Whereas the Hindu culture gives you an expansion of how you view life in itself. It's not limited. It is everything. It is life itself. That's why Bhagavan, whenever he come as incarnation, he come and incarnate into that where he will be here. Other, let's say, for example, in ancient time, let's say, if other places they were not that cultured, firstly, and you see, they're laughing. So I don't think Bhagavan will incarnate into cave to paint some painting on the wall. So he will come to remind humanity of something which is greater. So if one was living in a cave, and then he will come and live in the cave, then he will not fulfill his incarnation itself. So he come as a reminder always. He come to protect. Actually, even if he come and manifest himself in India or in, like you said, Asia, whatever, he don't come only for that. He come for the whole world itself. And for that, he also come for the whole universe, because what is happening it's happening also somewhere else. Also, its effect is also upon the whole universe itself. Very often we think that, something what we do here is only for here in this world. This is a very limited way of thinking. No, when an incarnation happens, he is doing a mass changes in the whole universe itself. So when he incarnate on the earth, for example, India is a blessed land in itself. And it is like a magnet. When we look at the spiritual richness of India, we see that it is not just 1,000 or 2,000 years of spirituality. Our rishis, the sadhus, and said we talk from the beginning of this creation itself. And when we talk about the beginning of the creation, we are not talking only a few thousand years. We are talking of millions of years of spiritual understanding, which the rishis have formulated and write and kept and transmit all this. So through that, it is a magnet that attract, through that knowledge itself, which the rishis have given. It is a magnet which attract a higher energy itself. So that higher energy can't just manifest itself where there is nothing. So it will manifest itself where there is a mass of the same magnitude of energy which pull him. So that's why most incarnation appeared in India. That's why Krishna said, whenever there is a dharma, I shall manifest myself. Whenever, you see why he incarnate when Kans was torturing the people. When Ravana was torturing the sadhus and saints, when he see that, okay, the Sanatana Dharma, they are forgetting that true understanding of life itself. When he see that, there's no reminder of, they are destroying that those who is reminding them of that spiritual heritage itself. So I shall come, and shall manifest myself to protect that. So like that, you see, also the saints and the sadhus, like I said to you, that spiritual heritage is not just few thousand years. It is thousands and thousands of years of devotion and spiritual practices, that longing and searching for knowledge, knowing who you are. There's no other places which do that. No other will tell you, yes, get to know truly who are you. Where do you come from? Why are you here? And where are you going? No, they tell you frankly, just believe. Otherwise you go to hell, or if you believe, you go to heaven. There is not a true understanding of really who are you truly. That aspect of the Atma itself is nowhere to be mentioned. Or they give you a certain idea of a fantasy, okay, yes, you are here now, and then if you have been good here, when you go, you die, then you will be enjoying yourself up there. Here you limit yourself, and there you will unlimit yourself to enjoy all the rubbish from the other side. So you see, that why would Bhagwan come and remind you of that kind of delusional things? No. Bhagwan will come, or he will send his messengers, the true messengers, as a reminder of his relationship with you. Look at Jesus. He have come also in the East, well, a bit east from, west a bit from India. And but he have come to remind what? He have come also to remind the love of God. So, like that incarnation, like I said, because of that masses of spiritual heritage and spiritual longing and understanding is focused on one place, of course, then it manifests itself. Most avatar and gurus and so on manifest in India itself, because it is a magnet that pull that divine himself. And now it is a different thing, everywhere it is reminded, every people are reminded, that you have the Lord inside of you. You have to have this relationship. That's why we bring Bhagwan to everyone as a reminder. Like you many souls, all of you, blessed one who have come into the spiritual path itself. Bhagwan have seen that this world have changed now. He have sent you all everywhere. And of course, he remind you of your duty also. He remind you of his name. He remind you of him, of his relationship with you. So from wherever you are, he's calling you back to him. And when he's calling you, he's reminding you of himself, then you become an inspiration for others. Because like I said, whenever he incarnate, whether it is he incarnate in India, he don't come only for the Indian people. He come for the whole world and for the whole universes, because that manifestation is so rare in itself that only those who can value him will have that grace to be among him and be near to him. And also he come to remind humanity of his relationship. He come to remind humanity of love in itself, when people forget about love, and put the material world as the most important thing. So that's why from the blessed land of Bharat, he delivered his message, for centuries, through many saints, through sages. And blessed is, people don't realize often how blessed they are to be born really upon this land of Bharat itself. And it's sad nowadays to see that many Indians don't realize how fortunate they are, because their mind have attuned to the world outside. They forgot about their rich culture. They forget what the rishis have given to them. Nowadays you hear some of the guru making jokes about the rishis, what the rishis have talked about, which is really sad to see. And then you wonder. I think that's why I was born in Mauritius. So.
Dear Guruji, sometimes I feel that we get carried away in trying to change the world by fighting for moral and social justice causes. It seems that many people fight for worldly matters and that very few strive for God. Can such causes distract us from our dharma of surrendering to God?
Look, can you please repeat that question?
Sometimes I feel that we get carried away in trying to change the world by fighting for moral and justice.
Right. So, you see, everybody have a certain understanding of what is moral and what is how to make the world better. And we see through history many great beings have tried to change this. And of course, you see, if you have that possibility to speak up, yes, do speak up. But one thing is, if, let's say, you're just a normal person, who will listen to you? You can say many things, but a very handful of people will listen to you. And I think, from my thing, if this handful of people change, yes, why not? It's better than nobody change. So, if you can speak up, then and change some things, yes, then do speak. Because even if one person change into that, that will help a lot. But most of the time, people have great ideas. Many people have want to protect. Every people have a moral standard and so on. But often it is just fallen on, just like water fall on hot iron, just like that, it's also happening. So you see, if you can hold upon your spiritual path, and really, firstly, you yourself change and become strong in yourself, then you can go outside and try to change somebody else. If you yourself have not changed, to go and change somebody else, it will become useless completely. So, firstly, we can talk a lot of things. We can say so many things. Morally, we can say, "Oh, this is right, this is wrong." You have that discrimination. What is right and what is wrong? Again, what I say to you, majority of the people will listen to people who have power, the people who have names, people who have a certain standard in life. Because people take them as role model, like Krishna said, those who are somebody in life. In the Gita, everybody try to copy that. The same thing. You see these kids, Justin Bieber, every youngsters try to copy Justin Bieber. You see that very often in the world outside. When somebody came to fame, name, glory, everybody tried to replicate that because everybody identified itself. So sometimes you see some people dressed like Michael Jackson, thinking that in their head they are Michael Jackson. No, Michael Jackson was Michael Jackson himself. But you are you. It's a different matter. That people go into that kind of delusion. For example, you have like the American president itself, who people make a lot of jokes, but he is very clever because he's bringing the attention of the people fully upon him by his behaving so idiocy outside, but yet people are so much focused upon him. So like that, you see, if you want to hear for people to hear you, you have to come to a certain standard. Then people will listen to you. Otherwise, in spirituality, change yourself. Because if you change really, it will make an impact also upon this world.
In the incident of Saint Eknath, he dipped 100 times in the water after one man spat on him. Where is the point to be quiet and not to intervene in the ignorant behavior of people? And when do we have to act and show somebody the limits?
This is a beautiful story, actually. When Saint Eknath, he went to take bath, and there was a Muslim man sitting there, and of course, people knew the the sanctity of Eknath Maharaj, and he wanted to test him, and each time he come out and passed by him, he spat on him. So each time Eknath just went there and take a dip and come back. Like that 108 times it happened. And then he realized his mistake and he asked for forgiveness. You see, when we are talking about the saints, they are centered into compassion. They have such love and patience with people. So when you be talking about Saint Eknath Maharaj was centered into that peaceful state, for him. He saw it afterwards. He said to that person, "Thank you, actually. You have made me take 108 dips into the Ganges itself, into the holy river. So this have purified me." So you see the state into which Saint Eknath took it is different from what another person will do. Because he coming to your question thinking, oh, I don't have that patience to take 108 time dips, or I would just give that person a good beat, and finish with him. This is the normal reaction of somebody, which is in the world outside. But the saintly person have a different attitude toward that, because the saintly person also want to teach the other person something. But if you act the same way as that person, okay, what would happen? It would be a big quarrel. No? Do you think if somebody is not ready to listen to you, to argue with that person, is a wise thing to do? No, it is not a wise thing. If that person is not ready to change, arguing with that person will make you the same as the person itself. So the best way is just to keep quiet and move forward. If a dog is barking and you sit and bark with the dog, what will be the difference between you and the dog? There will be no difference between the two. The dog is barking, you are barking together with the dog. So it will be the same. So if you sincerely want to change somebody, firstly, like I said, try to change yourself. And really, let's say somebody is annoying you. First, what you can do is ignore that person. Ignore the person. And if that person don't understand, even if you're ignoring, then keep away from that person. And then, if it is not working, but then maybe you have to take some reaction. But after you have tried to be patient and really be nice with them. So, enjoy good.